Welcome back, everybody. My name is Austin Knoll, and welcome your faces to another episode of Scene to Screen. Now, today, I am starting a new kind of series, which I'll be doing every Friday. So expect a new video of this series every single Friday. And what it is a weekly update. So I haven't thought of a name that's cool enough to title this. If you have a suggestion, let me know in the comments. But for right now, I'm just calling it the weekly update, which I know is taken several thousand times over on other YouTube channels, on TV, on everything. But it fits. So, but what this series will be about is basically every week going through, first off, the movies that are out, the new movies in the box office, how they're doing, what they're about, what I'm excited for. Me talking about the ones that I've seen. Instead of doing full-on reviews on my channel, I'm instead going to go over a couple that I've seen in one video as part of the weekly update. So it's not too long, but I give you guys a good sense of kind of what I thought about the movies. So in addition to that, I'm also going to be going over the things that I'm excited about in the movie or TV world that are not necessarily movies themselves. Like, for example, this week in this episode, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the Oscars and what I thought about that whole event. But I have a couple of little things that I want to share with you guys in this episode. So without further ado, let's get into the first ever weekly update. So first up, I'm going to be going through with you guys the biggest movies that have hit the box office this weekend. Today, or last night. If you're a real moviegoer, you know they come out on Thursday nights, not Friday mornings. Come on, guys. So for this week, the two main movies that I am most looking forward to are Logan and The Shack. Now, there's also one called Before I Fall, which I know nothing about, so I'm not going to include it in this video, but the ones that I'm most excited for, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about right now. So, first off, with Logan, I am so psyched to see this movie. If you are a Marvel superhero fanboy, or if you simply love X-Men or the comics, I'm not a big comic person, but I'm so excited to see Hugh Jackman's last attempt, or not last attempt, he's done really well, his last reprisal as the character Wolverine or Logan in the X-Men universe. It came out last night, and I was on Twitter going through all of the early reviewers and people who were just excited to express their opinions on Twitter, and so far it looks like it's going to be a fantastic movie. On Rotten Tomatoes, the critics gave it a 94%, which is amazing, and then the audience gave it a 95. So it's out of 100 if you don't know Rotten Tomatoes scores. But that is so exciting because I know sometimes with superhero movies, especially X-Men movies, they can be hit or miss. Like I know for me, X-Men Days of Futures Past was a fantastic movie. But then the one after that, Apocalypse, well, it wasn't bad, but it just didn't hit all the expectations that I had for it following up from the previous film. I'm hopefully going to see it in the next couple of days, and next weekly update, I will let you guys know what I thought about it. So following that big superhero action-packed explosion everywhere, metal or whatever they are, claw-like, killing people to shreds, we have The Shack. So if you are not familiar with the story of The Shack, it's basically a fictional biblical representation of what this man, his name is Mac Phillips, what he goes through after he loses his young daughter Missy, to a murder during a camping trip. She gets killed, and he gets taken on. Well, it starts off where he gets this note in the mail from a mysterious person called Papa, which his wife calls God. She calls God Papa. And so when he gets this in the mail, it says, "Come to the shack," where his daughter was murdered. So he goes to the shack, and the whole story is basically his 3 days, or his 2 days that he spends in the shack with the physical embodiment of God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. And it's very, very interesting. I just read the book, actually. I finished it a week or so ago. But personally, I loved the story. I thought it was a great representation of those biblical truths that I read in the Bible. But apparently the critics don't. It has a 14% on Rotten Tomatoes right now, but the audience rating of it is an 87%. So my guess is that it's going to be a movie that is a lot less reliant on the filmmaking and maybe the writing and that kind of stuff, but the audience likes it simply because either it stays true to the book, or because I know at times the book can get really dialogue-y, meaning the main representations of God, Jesus, and Holy Spirit are talking a lot, and that's the point of the book, is to teach you and to kind of get you in touch with what the message they're trying to share. But in a movie, it could end up being a little bit preachy. But for people who like the book, I'm guessing they're probably going to like the movie as well, which is probably why the critics didn't like it. So because this is the first weekly update, I am going to fill you guys in on some things that I have really been excited about that didn't necessarily happen this week, because from here on out, the things that will happen in the week will be shared in that weekly video. But since this is the first one, I'm going to backtrack a couple weeks to something that I thought was super exciting and you Walking Dead fans will love. I was able to be a part of the second annual Walker Stalker cruise that sailed from Miami to the Bahamas. It was 3 days, February 3rd through the 6th, and I could honestly devote an entire video to this, but I won't because it's already so far past. I'm going to touch on it as briefly as I can for how amazing it was. But picture this, if you don't know about it, Walking Dead fans, 2,500 fans on a boat with the majority of the stars from the show on the boat with you. So there's a story that goes along with this, which is way too long for this video, but I'm going to touch on it briefly. Last year was the first annual Walker Stalker cruise, the first time they ever done it in the history of Walker Stalker. And I had found out about it months prior, and I was actually scheduled to go on the first ship with my mom. Long story short, we paid in full all the money towards the cruise. We booked everything, the hotels and everything. We got to the port the day the ship sailed, and my mom did not have her birth certificate. So we were not allowed on the boat. It was a very, very heartbreaking experience. We didn't have a flight back until the cruise was done. We already bought tickets for the flight back. And we were aimlessly going around Miami and Florida. But this year we got on the boat and it was incredible. The biggest thing I would say of how cool it was, first off, it's awesome just seeing the actors weren't just in their cabins the entire time. You'd see Jesus and Nicholas and Greg Nicotero and Norman Reedus, all of them walking on the boat just with everyone else, which I think was so cool just to be able to walk around. And people respected their space. They didn't swarm them. There was a crowd around them, but they weren't shoving stuff in their faces to sign and all that kind of stuff. It was a really respectable kind of balance, and I think that's why they felt so comfortable coming out. But it was such a cool experience. I have pictures with me with all of the actors on my Instagram page at Austin Knoll, AUSTINNOLL on Instagram. I have them all there if you guys want to check it out. I have some cool videos too from stuff that happened while we were on the cruise, which I thought was really funny, which I posted on there. If you're a fan of The Walking Dead and you have some spare dollars in the thousands, go on this cruise. You will not regret it. It is one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life in terms of something that has to do with The Walking Dead. Well, not just Walking Dead, with anything. So the next topic I have for you guys is a big one. It's been the buzz of the week. It's going to be the buzz of the next couple weeks. And in terms of Oscar history, well, there's the topic, but it's going to go down as one of the most memorable Oscars, I think, in Oscar history for several reasons. First off, basic impressions of the entire show. As far as hosts go, Jimmy Kimmel, I thought, did an incredible job hosting. He was funny. There was candy and cookies and donuts falling from the sky during the show and little parachutes, which I thought was hilarious. There was the whole, if you're a Jimmy Kimmel fan and you watch his show, you know he has a long-lasting feud with Matt Damon, which played out during the show. It was hilarious. There was even a part where Matt Damon and Ben Affleck came up on stage to present one of the awards. I forget which award it was, but You guys know that song that plays when actors are taking too long to do their speeches? They have like 30 seconds to talk, and then when they get to the end of that, the music starts playing to tell them to hurry up and get off stage. Every time Matt Damon would start talking about the reward they're presenting, the music would start, and it turned out Jimmy Kimmel was down there doing the whole orchestra thing. But it was just so funny. And the moment you've all been waiting for, the crazy, chaotic mix-up of the Best Picture award. People are calling it hashtag Envelope Gate, which is a stupid name, which is why it only lasted a day on Twitter. But if you haven't seen the Oscars, if you haven't been on the internet for the last couple weeks or week, I will quickly run down for you guys what happened. Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway were the presenters for the Best Picture award, aka the biggest award of the entire show. People were kind of laughing, and they're also kind of ticked off a little bit because Warren Beatty seemed to be kind of playing a joke, and he opened the envelope, he took it out, looked inside the envelope to see if there's anything else in there. Blah, blah, blah. People were laughing, but they were kind of like, get on with it, we get the joke. Looked at it, looked kind of confused, because it's the biggest award, we're hyping it up a little bit, that kind of thing. Passed it to Faye Dunaway, and she was like, oh, I got this. The winner is La La Land.
And the Academy Award for Best Picture.
You're impossible. Come on. La La Land.
Everyone goes crazy, La La Land cheers. They go up on stage, and they're ecstatic. The producers both give speeches. A couple of other people give full-on speeches, thanking the family, thanking their wives, thanking the producers, thanking the companies, thanking everybody. And in the background during this, if you pay attention and you go back and watch it, you see this guy with the little headset going around talking to people in the background, because the big crew up there for the entire film. The whole crew's up there. And people are kind of talking to this guy with the headset and going, what's on? This guy's showing him a paper. And then the producer guy comes up. I forget his name. One of the main producers. I'm so sorry. And he goes, I'm sorry. There's been a mistake. Moonlight, you won Best Picture. And the first thought for me was, oh, that's so humble of him, telling him, like, pulling in Adele and Beyonce, saying, okay, no, you guys deserve it. It's not us. You guys totally deserve this film, not us. We're unworthy. And then he said it again. No, this is not a joke. And he brings Warren Beatty out here, and he takes the card from his hands, and he puts it towards the camera, and it says, Moonlight, you won Best Picture. And then it goes berserk. First of all, there's a picture I'll put right here. I'll put it on screen. Of the audience, it's going viral. This picture with The Rock, with Meryl Streep, with Matt Damon, with Ben Affleck, with all these people looking absolutely confused and stunned, not having any clue what's going on, because this has never happened in the history of the Oscars, ever getting the wrong picture, Best Picture wrong. But the Moonlight crew was totally confused, but eventually they got on stage, and the whole time Jimmy Kimmel was trying to lighten the mood a little bit, keep things on edge, not on edge, keeping them off edge, I guess, but trying to add some comic relief. Warren Beatty, what'd you do? Come on, Warren. And then Warren Beatty comes up, because the people are still freaked out and not knowing what's happening. The Moonlight people are coming on stage, kind of confused. The whole viewing audience, millions of people watching on TV, have no clue what's going on. And the internet journalists have their fingers on the keyboard ready to say whatever's happened. I actually went on different websites that had already said La La Land wins Best Picture. People type fast. But Warren Beatty comes on stage and says, hang on, I want to explain what happened. And everyone's like, okay, we want to know. Everyone shut up. And they were like, please tell us, Warren Beatty, what did you do? Are you the next Steve Harvey? Please let us know. And he goes, he explains to us that the reason why he was looking so confused and opening the envelope again and handing it to Faye Dunaway wasn't because he was trying to be funny and to add this hype or this anxiety kind of thing, which people do, like Ryan Seacrest on American Idol. He was generally confused because apparently on his card it said Emma Stone La La Land, meaning that card was the card for Emma Stone, who won Best Actress in a leading role or supporting role, leading role, I think. But so people were like, oh, so it wasn't Warren Beatty's fault. First off, also, online, I've been on several websites that are recounting the story, and so many of them are saying that Warren Beatty is the one who called out the winner is La La Land, and that's false. He handed it to Faye Dunaway because he was obviously aware that it didn't seem quite right to have Emma Stone La La Land, and he passed it to Faye Dunaway, showing her, is this right? But Faye Dunaway didn't look at it very well. If you go over to the clip again, she went, here, give it to me, and she went, La La Land. She didn't really give the time to really see what the card was saying, and that's why all that happened. So the next part of this happens during the Oscar after-show interviews. Once you win your Oscar, you go backstage to a press room where people can ask you questions. And in Emma Stone's press conference, the first thing she says, I'll add a clip right here after I talk about it because I want my opinion to be said first. What she says pretty much is basically, I don't want to start anything. I don't want to start any arguments or anything, blah, 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 blah. But I had that Emma Stone La La Land card in my hand the entire time.
I think we all would have loved to win Best Picture, but we are so excited for Moonlight. I think it's one of the best films of all time, so I was pretty beside myself. I also was holding my Best Actress in a Leading Role card that entire time. So whatever story, I don't mean to start stuff, but whatever story that was, I had that card.
That is true. And I've been on Twitter where people have stopped it there, have seen what happened in the Oscars, have seen Emma Stone's response, and then have been going, oh my gosh, Warren, what'd they do? Both Warren and Emma were telling the truth. There are always backups for the envelopes. In case one of the envelopes gets missing, there's a backup with the same result inside of it. Emma Stone, of course, had two envelopes, one that she had when she was presented with it, and a backup, which is what was given to Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway to present the award. That's what happened. You heard it here last. All right, so this brings us to the end of our first ever weekly update. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you think this is a better way for me to do this on my channel, if you enjoyed this better, or just as much, or less, please let me know in the comments. If you have any topics that you would want me to touch on, if you want to see it on here, let me know. I'm not getting a whole bunch of comments, so the odds are if you let me know something, it'll happen on the show if I think it's good enough. And there goes my comments. But that brings us to the end of the video. Guys, if you liked it, please like the video, show your support, and please subscribe for future weekly updates. Please follow me on social media. All the links will be in the description. On my Instagram, I've been doing a lot of taking a more of inspirational, motivational approach, a lot of inspirational quotes, and stuff that I'm excited about on there. So if you would, show your support. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you on the next episode.